We have to normalize seeking help. In today's video, I will be discussing how mental health is just as important as physical strength. Many talk about being high speed and physically fit and all these things during training or the military career period, but nobody talks about mental resilience. So a lot of people deal with so many different things during training, whether it's them being homesick or rather them feeling, like they can't get through, like they can't make it, especially if you have a family at home, if you have children, if you have a husband that you're separated from, you're going to feel the stress, right? All while trying to accomplish this thing, all while trying to get through this rigorous training. And it's a lot. It can be a lot on the mental health. You're going to be sleep deprived. You're gonna lack sleep when you're going through this training. You're going to be getting up early morning, going to bed late at night, and it's just a constant day-to-day thing, right? You're going to be tired, physically tired, mentally tired. You're going to go through failures. You're not always going to get things the first time. You're going to go through dealing with people and their personalities. Like, all these different things that you have to face can cause stress and mental strain. We have to normalize seeking help. They have chaplains, maybe you're close to someone there that you can talk to, you can confide in. Do that. Do not hold all that inside. There's so many people who didn't talk to someone and they attempted to unalive themselves. You don't want to get yourself to that point. Talk to somebody if you have to. There's always somebody there, at least one person that you can talk to. There are resources available like the chaplain, behavioral health, a battle buddy, maybe your cadre, someone that you trust, someone that you feel comfortable speaking with. Even if you got a call at home, maybe there's someone back at home that you can talk to. Whatever your reasons are for stressing during training, if it's the training that's stressing you out, just focus on your goal. Focus on your why. Focus on why you're there in the first place, right? And that's what you want to focus on and put your best foot forward. If you pay attention, if you ask questions and speak up, you should do fine at OCS. Even BOLIC, you should do fine. OCS is a high stress environment and many people struggle mentally. Everyone talks about the physical aspect, but not many people are discussing the mental aspect of training, right? So people struggle mentally for a various amount of different things, whether it's personal, whether it's whatever, right? Maybe they're just struggling with the course, or maybe they're battling with, feeling homesick, being away from their family, being away from their children. I'm going to share with you guys some of the mechanism and coping skills that I dealt with when I was there. So when I was at OCS, I had one child at the time, and I had to be away from him. And of course it was stress because I went through basic training. I only got like maybe a week or two in between that because it was around the holidays, right? So I went from basic training, got a 2-week holiday break, which I was blessed to have that opportunity. And then I went to OCS. I was at OCS way longer than I was supposed to be because I was recycled. I was only supposed to be there 12 weeks and ended up being there 7 months, right? And then from there, I did have another break in between that time. They gave me time off, and then I came back to OCS. And then after I graduated OCS, my family came there to my graduation. And then shortly after that, I went to BOLIC, and I was in BOLIC for 4 months, right? So that's a lot of separation away from, my family and everything. But thank God that those little breaks in between is what really helped me mentally. It's one thing just talking on the phone, but to physically be there is a whole nother thing. So like I said, many people deal with a various amount of reasons that they struggle mentally at OCS. And I'm just going to talk about the obvious, right? How stressful OCS is because of the pressure. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of drama. There's just a lot of chaos there, right? And you're struggling or to keep up, to perform, right? A lot of people are struggling to perform, and worried about, oh, am I gonna make it? Each level is like another obstacle. Every level is another obstacle that you have to defeat, regardless of what you may struggle with. You may be high speed and you may pass everything the first time, but it's still a mental struggle. It's still a mental battle, because it's just a lot. When you first get there, you don't really know what to expect, right? You don't know what to expect. And that's one of the reasons why I started documenting my journey and talking about it, because there wasn't a lot of people out there on YouTube really documenting details of their journey. So you really had no resource to kind of reference to, right? And you just kind of go into it blindly. So I struggle with the fact of land navigation. Oh my God, that was my big stressor. No matter how high speed you are, history is going to be another one. That history test, these things can make or break you. It can cause you to either get recycled or dismissed from the course. A lot of people are not as physically high speed. A lot of people are not academically high speed, so you're going to find something you struggle with, even if it's just dealing with the different personalities and the people around you. You're going to struggle with something. So the things I did was I focused on my end goal. I focused on the reason I was there in the first place, my why. Once I focused on that and just kept my mind on that, of course, I'm a very spiritual person. I prayed every day, and with God's strength, got me through a lot of those things, right? I also dealt with, after being recycled so many times, twice, after being recycled twice and dealing with, the bullies, the naysayers, the people who just wanted to see me fail, and the people who didn't like me, and struggling with land navigation, struggling just not even knowing what the outcome is going to be, and then having to deal with the passing of a loved one while I was there. My father had passed away at some point when I was at OCS. All of those things were reasons to quit, right? All of those things were reasons to quit. But I'm no, I'm not going to let nothing stop me from my goal, my why. Your why doesn't have to be explained to anybody. As long as you know your why, as long as you understand your why, for whatever reason that is, you want to just focus on them things. You want to find ways that help you cope. On my downtime, I used to listen to a lot of spiritual videos, things that would uplift my spirit. Besides praying, talking to my mom, talking to my husband, talking to a close friend, all of them things is what helped me get through, and you got to find what helps you cope, besides focusing on your goals and focusing on your why. You want to find other things to help you cope, things that'll help keep you pushing, to keep you motivated. And I also thought about, my son. I wanted to set a good example for him, that my mom is a fighter. My mom pushed through, my mom is doing this for me, whatever my reasons are, So yeah, it can be a lot. You can't let a little pressure stop you. Don't let pressure stop you. Don't let fear hold you back. I was terrified of land nav. I was terrified of land nav. I was terrified of the history exam. A lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of people were stressing over that history exam. I mean, a lot of people were stressing over it. And just like land nav, there was a lot of failures with the history exam. a lot of failures to history exam, and by the grace of God, I didn't fail it the first time. I passed it. I had good people around me at that point that really helped me through. I definitely had help. I had people help me study. You got to get with study groups. You know, whatever you're struggling in, find somebody that can help you. Like, hey, I'm struggling with this, but I noticed that you excel in this. Can you help me understand? Can you help me? Like, find somebody. You got to speak up. You can't, if you just sit there and hold it in, like, what good is that going to help you? You're just going to keep failing. You're setting yourself up for failure. So I'm telling you, it's going to be at least one person there that can help you. Be a help to other people, and also don't be afraid to ask for help. Because you asking for help is you helping yourself. Closed mouths don't get fed. You have to speak up and ask for what you need. Don't be ashamed that you need the extra help, because there's always going to be something in life that somebody struggle with. Don't be ashamed, because you got to think about you in the end run. Don't think about what people say or what people think. You know, you got to worry about if this is what it takes to get me to where I need to be. OCS is not going to be rainbows and butterflies. You know, I don't care if you are high speed at everything. You know, you gotta change your mindset. You gotta go into OCS knowing that, hey, I may fail, I may struggle, but what strategies am I going to do to help me succeed? What strategies am I going to implement? What am I going to do to help myself, you know, overcome the hurdles and the obstacles? Because that's all it's about. You know, it's not about failing. It's not about struggling. It's all about getting back up and pushing through. Because they're watching that, you know, they're watching that, how you handle pressure, how you handle failure. And I didn't even, like, when I was going through the things I was going through, I wasn't even looking at it like this. It was just already something that was already in me, you know. Just I didn't really have it in me to just be a quitter. I knew what I wanted, and I was going to get it by any means. And that's pretty much what I did. So yeah, feel what you need to feel, but you got to keep pushing. Just remember that you got to help yourself before you help others. You can't lead others if you're falling apart inside. So take care of yourself, not just physically, but mentally. If you're struggling, speak to somebody. Chaplain, a friend, leadership, anybody. I hope this video has helped you guys out. I hope I gave you guys some type of value. And like always, I will see you guys in my next video.